So, finished rank 44, which is the exact. Wait, no, it's not. Is that my? Oh, well, yeah, this is my new best rank. 44, right? I thought I had a rank 40 finish, but maybe not. I guess this is my new best rank. Yeah, so we did rank 44. We actually went up like, I don't know, 50 points higher than last season with like 300 more games with a 2% higher win rate. So this was like a huge improvement from last season. So pretty good. So I guess I'll go through, talk about all my runes and artifacts and all the builds I was using and stuff I changed. So of course we have Zerath. I'm sure you guys have seen this 1,000 times already, so not much to talk about here. Just Rage Will. I did actually change some of the artifacts like mid-season. I think I have. So that used to be. So it's the difference between this one and this one. So this one is what is that, like 32? It's like 32 skill 3 crit damage with a nice skill 2 recovery, but this one is 28 plus 9. This is like what, 37? 36, 37 crit damage. So this one's higher skill 3 damage, but this one has a nice, this one's more efficient. But obviously we've all seen those games where I lose by 1 HP, right? So it's like we're using this one now. And then I also was trying out this one sort of partway through the season. We have like a kind of a like low to average triple, and CD has more HP. But what I liked about it is it had 3 lines of elemental damage. So I'm still not sure which one is better, to be honest. This one's missing one useful line. But it's like, that's a high triple. And this one's kind of a low triple, but it has that 4th extra line. So I don't know. I'd have to run more tests to make that decision. But I felt like damage dealt on wind is still kind of what I was going for, just to make sure like Oliver's and Ethna's Chung Pungs just kind of die immediately. You can't really one-shot a Sagar though. That was kind of an issue, I would say. You have to armor break it. So that was Wrath. Charlotte, same build. Didn't really change anything on the runes, I think. Oh yeah, actually we did change this. I think start of the season I had her on this one. So this one's should be like way more efficient, right? This is an ancient with like maxed out grinds, but like 11 act versus 135 attack. Again, I didn't want to keep losing games to like 1 HP stuff, so I just went with I changed it to attack, like the highest attack slot 2 I had. Kind of an average one. Like the 28 attack is decent, then we have like this crappy HP roll, which really sucked, but it is what it is. And then I changed this artifact out. This used to be... It used to be that one. So HP, triple speed, 1 and 2 HP additional. So this one is a high triple into speed. And then kind of a useless line here, unfortunately. But this should be more damage just because of the flat attack, right? So that's what I changed. And then Jamire. Yeah, we did make changes to Jamire too. I used to run him on, he was on Revenge for most of the season. On a resistance build. I think he had one of these. I don't remember. And then I changed like some of these. It's a bit of a mess, but it was basically Swift Revenge on max res, something like that. But then I decided to put him on Will for, I can't remember what. But yeah, that was the change I made. I mean, Will is just better overall. Hey, what's up, Lux? You didn't like the bounce patch either. Yeah, so a lot of people didn't. Yeah, Ren Zabala, that's one of them. I think there was there was also someone who would do Zabala Seara, and they would just boost Seara up and then bomb it. So I was just like, okay, it needs to be on Will. But yeah, minus wind. You know, again, for the Ethna, Sekhmet, Wind Cookie stuff. What else? But yeah, I mean, now that Sekhmet's getting buffed to where her skill 3 reduces attack bar, I don't think I'm not gonna be able to pick this as much now. It's gonna be kind of, I mean, I guess I could, but I just wouldn't run I wouldn't run a bar booster. I would just go full bruiser probably. Like do Zerath, Jamire, Shizuka, something like that. Chandra, Swift Will. I think he was maybe 5 speed faster earlier in the season. Yeah, how did I feel about Chandra? Chandra was okay. I felt like if people were picking the Vanessa from me, I should just take Chandra, right? It's a water speed lead. The problem with that is that Zerath plus Chandra is just not a lot of like combo damage when you compare it to Charlotte. So there are games where if I was picking this, of course, in the Vanessa, and I actually get my combo off, like I would kill maybe one unit, and then that unit would get revived by Vanessa. So that was kind of a problem. And I think at the end of the season, I wasn't picking Chandra at all. If they took the Vanessa, I would just do Zerath, Shizuka, and then bruiser them. So I might change this build. Maybe I'll just put him on Despair later on. But actually, it was good into the Zabala Robo teams though, right? So you just lock these two in, and then you pick 3 counter picks, as opposed to if you do Vanessa, Zerath, Charlotte, you only get 2 counter picks, which is usually does not work out for you. So Chandra was good into that sort of stuff. Gemini, I don't think I really changed it that much the whole season. I just wanted him 85 AC, 15 crit for Ragdolls. Pretty efficient stats, like decent amount of defense, HP and attack. Despair Will, additionals. Picked him into all the bruiser teams, really. We just ran like the ball cleave. Not much else to say though, but you have to kind of be careful about when you pick it. Right, if you pick Gemini early, people will just pick Hanging into you, and then it's a force ban. So I was typically drafting Gemini pretty late into the bruiser guys. And then Chiwu. I actually didn't pick very often this season. I think all of my Nem traps kind of fell off. Oh, what's up, Bola? Yeah, 2 weeks without Haging. You're just gonna pre-ban it every time, huh? Makes sense. I'm probably gonna pre-ban maybe TL or maybe Twin Angels, something like that. Yeah. Anyways, back to Chiwu. Yeah, like all my Nem traps, I didn't have as much confidence in anymore. Because a lot of Wounses were built anti-Nem, right? They just build him with like no HP, so he doesn't do damage on his skill 3. So I was kind of like, you don't know if it's gonna work out or not, so you might as well just not pick it. You just pick something else. It's still okay to pick and do like more Escher. But then again, the more can stun something, and then you're just gonna lose to that. So, yeah, Chiwu was kind of iffy. So I just opted like to pick something else. I did play with him a bit, but yeah, not as much as the last 2 seasons, I would say. But yeah, he's double Nem, Will. I think I just wanted to cap out skill 3 act with some additionals and then crit damage. Since we're on a crit rate build. So yeah, I might, this might get de-runed, and then I could use this for something. This is like the 31 speed build rune there. Seara's just a spare. Spare on attack HP. And I was comboing it with Triton. So like, I mean, Despair, if you miss your bomb, then you can at least, you know, just skill 3 and hope for some stuns. But yeah, it was like a high attack power build. Pretty high AC, it's not capped out, unfortunately. And then you just go bomb damage with skill 2 AC. So yeah, Seara, I didn't pick her that much. It was usually into, if people would open like Twin Angels, Sauger, and then maybe an LD unit or something, and then I could slam down Triton and a Seara in the last two. So it was okay. Yeah, it always sucks when you miss your Seara bomb though. Hope they had pre-ban on G1, G3. I would be open to that. I think that would be fine, yeah. Vanessa I picked a lot. Like, I think this is the season I picked her the most. At least that's what it felt like. Since I wasn't opening Zerath Charlotte anymore, I was prioritizing Vanessa Zerath. Right, because I didn't like playing into Vanessa, so I would just pick this, and it's also better into a pivot. So yeah, Vanessa had pretty high quality runes, I would say. 282 on Despair Will. And I got super lucky this season. I got 2 quads on Despair. This one, and I got this one. It's flat, but I mean, I don't even care. It has stats. So, but yeah, I was super happy about those 2. But Despair Will, try to cap out the skill 2 AC. Crit damage taken actually kind of good and do the fire cast or Mashas. And we go minus fire for those 2. Yeah, Vanessa was really good with Zerath, so you could set up a armor break for him and just guarantee a kill onto something. And then you 4v3 with a revive and a cleanse heal, so it was pretty hard. Usually you just win if that happens. Psamathe. I felt like I didn't pick Psamathe that much this season. Right, you would think if they take Vanessa from you, you could just do Psamathe, Zerath, Charlotte, but if you do that, then you start getting stuff like Diana, Abellio, like a lot of annoying bruiser stuff comes out. Right, because if you pick Psamathe, you can't really pivot into a turn 2 sometimes, I felt like. So it was a bit risky to pick him early. Most of the time it was like a last pick into LD cleave sometimes, because I run him on damage dealt on dark. Right, like the Maxi Robo stuff. They just kind of die if they proc the passive sometimes. So yeah, it was Rage Will with crit damage, artifacts, damage dealt on dark. What's up, Pig? Yeah, no problem, man. I gotta update that list. Last time I did this was like 2 seasons ago, so probably a good time to do it now. So that's the math. Yon Hong. Okay, this is a newer build that I'm testing out. I wanted her to be a bit faster. But most this season she was like I think this was a Swift rune, I think it was this one, and then we had a slot 2. Well, I had a really nice crit rate rune here. Yeah, it's on this. Yeah, so this is the build most of the season. 321. It's just speed tuned to my, you know, the Jamire Yanhong Zerath double nuke combo. That's pretty much all I really used her for. If people were kind of just bruisering without any interruptions, you could just slam those down. But yeah, she's on a crit damage build, on will, really good amount of accuracy from all the innates, and then you just go full additionals. Full additionals, yep. So yeah, that was Yanhong. But yeah, when she's this slow, you don't really pick it that much. It's really into people who are not really contesting turn 1 too much. So yeah, but again, I'm changing her to off will, and then I'm bumping her speed up. I'm trying that out. Okay, GingerBrave. These are your 2 seasons ago ruined video. Oh, okay, yeah. Nice, man. We'll update that. GingerBrave. GingerBrave was really good, I feel like, this season. I used him a lot. Like, into anyone that was trying to outspeed me, like the Zabala Robo teams. If I saw like any high base speed unit, like a Yanhong, I would just throw this in there. Potentially interrupt them. Yeah, this GingerBrave has my close to fastest speed set. I think I could bump his speed up by 1, but it's not like really worth it. So it's just Swift Broken, additionals. Yeah, full additional damage. Was really good, especially with that skill 2 buff he got where he steals beneficial effects. Really good. But yeah, I would pick like an example comp would be like Vanessa Zerath, and then they turn around, they're picking like I don't know, Seara Zabala or something like that, and you do Charlotte Cookie, right? And the GingerBrave just resets either the Zabala or the Stripper, and then they have no play, right? They just kind of have to pass, and then you cleave them. So yeah, GingerBrave got used a lot this season. So next up, Leo. Leo is this is the same build it's always been for the past couple seasons. Vio Ak. We don't have capped out crit rate, which really bothers me, but this is the best I think I could do without I don't want to drop his Ak too low. I like having the Ak for like Yanhong, for example. If you pick a Leo into Yanhong, she goes res lead. It's kind of iffy if you hit the pushback sometimes. So yeah, Vio Ak. Just crit damage artifacts. This one's really nice. Yeah, that one's insane. And then just crit damage. Damage dealt on wind is good. Minus Stark is pretty good too. Yeah, some of these are kind of like, this one's really, that 14 crit rate is terrible. But some of them are like, this one's decent. Yeah, not efficient here. We have flat attack instead of defense. So yeah, I could definitely use some Leo upgrades. Okay, Shizuka. So I did change the build recently for her. For most this season, she was on a... She was like this. I'll just show you the stats first. She was like on a anti-Sonia build, so add 200 defense here, so plus 14, 44. Almost max res, kind of on the slower side. But left side artifact I had, yeah, it was this one, minus wind and dark for Sonia's, and then like, I don't know, other LD stuff. And then I just had a defense skill 3 Ak. I think it was, yeah, I was using this one. Skill 3 Ak with some additionals. So it'd be like anti-Sonia, unless they have attack buff. But I started to realize, like, if you pick Shizuka into Sonia, people just assume that it's on anti-Sonia, right? So they won't even attempt to snipe it out, which means you don't have to build her on high defense anymore, right? sort of that I don't know, that paradox or whatever. So I was just like, okay, we'll just go super high HP. I get to cap my resistance out, and then I can run better artifacts. So we have higher skill 3 AC here. And then check this one out, minus 27 wins. So it's actually still kind of anti-Sonia when you have something like this. So yeah, that's the new Shizuka build. Yeah, reverse psychology Shizuka. So that's how she is now, and I'm probably going to be picking her more, since we're going to be not picking Chandra into Vanessa. If they pick Vanessa, we're just going to do this Zerath Shizuka. So yeah, Juno, same build. I think she's been for the past couple seasons. Despair Revenge, high attack power. I remember there was a few games where she was winning the 1v1 versus Douglas, I think because of this much attack power, which is nice. So, yeah, kind of on the slower side, I'd say, but good stats overall. I'm missing 10 crit rate though, but yeah, full additionals. 4 lines additionals, legends, pretty nice. Kind of average though, like pretty low on the speed, unfortunately. Yeah, it's pretty good. Just give me a sec. What happened to the music? All right. Shizuka isn't even anti-Sonia, but because my whole team is, it doesn't matter. You built a whole team's anti-Sonia? What? JC, thanks for the follow. That's crazy, dude. All right, Draco. So this Draco, I think I rebuilt mid-season. It used to be on like a about 300 speed Swift Will build. But then I wanted to change it so that this is 320, right? So my Charlotte's 320. So if you pick this, you pick Draco, then Charlotte. Draco will move in front of Charlotte, which is good because it counters, if you have Draco moving in front, it counters Ragdoll. You know, Ragdoll Hagang, right? Because your boosters counter Hagang. What the heck happened to Spotify? Spotify just died. Anyways, but yeah, it counters kind of Verd in a way, like you're boosting 30 bar up and getting speed buff, and then Charlotte boosts another 30 bar, and then you can glance the Verd. So it could work out for you. Yeah, we did run a lot of for example, Zerath first pick, and then if they're picking bruisers or Ragdoll, you just do Draco Charlotte. They pick more bruisers, and then you slam down the Gemini and then the ball. I called it the death ball comp, which is really fun. So yeah, it's Gemini. I mean, not Gemini, Draco. Daphnis. Did I show you the artifacts? No, I didn't. Yeah, additionals and skill 2 AC. And then I tried to drop the crit rate as much as possible, right? Because you're picking it into Ragdoll most likely. So try and get 15 crit high AC. It's pretty good. Daphnis is on a double Nem Will Trap build. Didn't pick it that much. I did feel like it should be ruined for, there's like games with like Pontos where you wanna have a sniper, right? But it has to have a strip because of the invincibility. So that was mainly why I kept Daphnis ruined up, was like just for Pontos, really. And then of course there are some matches where I'm like, you could pick this into the meta stuff, like Vela, Sauger maybe. Just snipe something out, but yeah, it was okay. Didn't use it too much though. Just like skill 3 AC. And then pretty nice quad here. CD has more HP. Yeah, as a force ban. Yeah, pretty much, sometimes. Yeah, I know, right? You hope they just ban it so you don't have to deal with the RNG from this skill. Yeah, that was Daphnis. He was okay, I would say. I'd just keep him ruined up. Bellenus. Bellenus, one of my favorite, like, probably my favorite turn 2, like, slow cleave unit. It's on a crit rate build, so max the crit rate out. Pretty decent ac. Decent speed. It just needs to move in front of Zerath. And then, I'd say good amount of attack, defense, and HP. Yeah. Spare will. Additionals. Prioritize the additional damage by attack. And then I did change this artifact mid-season. This used to be on this one. Just like 4 lines additionals with 15 attack. But then I realized you're probably picking it. The reason I think I changed it to this is because I thought I could kill Junos if I do damage dealt on fire. Still requires more testing, to be honest, but it's probably pretty close. Like if a Juno eats a full combo plus maybe chip damage from like a few other units, I think you can kill it, a Juno like that. So yeah, Bellenus I think he had some of my like best runes on here. Oh yeah, this was the upgrade I made this season. I got that one, which has the innate on it. So we're going from this one to this one. So, and then this still needs like some grinds here, but we're getting like six ac. We dropped like 2 ac for 14 crit damage or something. So I was like, that's pretty worth it. I was gonna ask if it worked. I think it could. For sure, I think it could work. You know, like Junos don't run like minus fire. It's usually all additionals, right? But I might even try a crit damage build at some point if I get the runes for it. Miger, thanks for the follow. So yeah, that's Bellenus. Probably one of my favorite units to use, to be honest. Everyone's favorite counterpick, Ryu. Fire Ryu, aka Douglas. Never changed his runes, I don't think. Not in a while. Vamp Nem. Artifacts, of course. Skill 2 crit damage. Just crit damage lines. Skill 2 recovery is not bad. Not great though. This one's really nice though. We have max triple counterattack damage with a max minus 12 wind damage, which can be good into stuff like Ethna. Right, like the skill 3 from Ethna can actually drop a Douglas pretty low sometimes. Also Seara bombs. I think this should survive a Seara bomb. And then minus fire is good. Obviously, you're picking it into wind and fire units, and plus fire is fine as well. But this is HP. But like this is actually maxed out. Like it's, I don't know, whatever 100 max efficiency. So that's why I like to use it. Yeah, Vamp Nem, 2400 attack, pretty good defense, HP, and speed, I would say. Decent act too. So yeah, I really just picked them if there were like any wind heavy drafts, and it's usually just a force band. Refill, thanks for the follow. But yeah, that was Douglas. Okay, Racuni. I probably rebuilt Racuni a few times this season. I kept going back and forth between making him faster, making him slower, you know. I had to swap a lot of runes around. Yeah, this is flat HP on a Racuni, but it's okay, because this is just a bird healed counter, usually. So if, for example, it's like a, I don't know, Chandra bird healed opener, you can do Zerath, Charlotte, Racuni, right? But the Berghild's gonna outspeed you, so the Berghild would most likely want to push back and stun the Charlotte, right? So then it messes up the combo, right? But Racuni moving right after, or not like right after, but again, it's kind of slow, but presumably Racuni would go second, and then it would cleanse the Charlotte, and then you boost it up with speed buff too. So Racuni just kind of protects the combo. So we used skill 3 recovery, of course, and then minus fire, light and dark. This, yeah, minus fire, I guess, is good into like Masha, dark for like Gianna, Han, maybe I don't know if it actually can tank stuff like that, but yeah, it was pretty good as a counter to specifically Berghild. In fact, it's like the only one for the combo, really. Maybe Hagang would be okay, but no, I think Racuni was really good into that stuff. Okay, what the heck happened to Spotify? Spotify just died and it won't reload. And we're still alive, right? I'm not just talking to myself right now. I didn't DC. Huh. Weird. Let me pull up maybe like a YouTube playlist or something. Music. But top hits playlist. You guys can hear that, right? Fit Geek, thanks for the follow. Okay, cool. Can you guys hear that? Great. Okay. So yeah, that's Racuni. Next up, Carnal. Carnal didn't really change his build at all. This is the same build I've had for a couple seasons now. Crit damage. Vio Will. Insane artifact here. Max squad. Just additional damage by HP, speed, defense. Unfortunately, this one's a flat attack. But, I mean, it's such a good artifact. Right, let me turn this down a bit. Yeah, sometimes if I just wanted a... like, usually I'd have to choose between, like, picking Bellenus last or Carnal. And the trade-off here between these two is, like, you get an HP lead from Carnal. But Bellenus is, like, more damage. And it's more consistent with, like, stunning and provoking stuff. So, most of the time, I think I would have preferred to go Bellenus. But sometimes if I didn't have an HP lead, like, you know, I would probably want Carnal. It's also tankier than my Bellenus, so... Yeah, Bellenus is cooler, exactly. But no, I still loved games where I get to play Carnal. It's pretty good too. Okay, we're about halfway done. Carlos. So here we are on Rage Will, Fat, full Fat. And this build was new this season. It used to be on a decently fast Vamp Will set. But then I think there are a few games where you don't kill stuff and then like you don't snowball, right? So, which is bad, and it's like you don't even need the healing from some of those games. You just want to do as much damage as possible and clear the team. So yeah, I just changed to like a fat rage set. I think it's better, right? You don't even need speed if you're picking it correctly, or they're just sniping a unit out, right? So yeah, I really like this build, and I like sacked some 12 grinds too. Look at this. We hit a 12 here, and then I hit a 12 on this one. It was like, wow, insane. But yeah, and then crit damage, artifacts, additional damage by attack, stuff like that. Again, same thing. So yeah, that was Carlos. Verd, I barely picked this. I think it was just ruined up. Like, you would just pick it and hope they ban it, basically. Triple Revenge, of course. Kind of like crit damage, artifacts, additionals. I think it's all fine. Yeah, minus dark. I guess because I felt like I would pick it into maxi cleavers. Something like that. Yeah, I don't think we need to talk too much about Verd. Wang, this is this build is new. I probably won't keep it like this, but I think I had him on like this set. It was something like this, kind of like 250, like a plus 130 Vio blade set with like really good attack, HP, and defense. Yeah, this is something new I'm testing out. And then we just do crit damage artifacts, and then in theory, I thought -1 would be good into Seara's, but like with this much HP, it's probably not not very good. Like I'll probably rebuild this. Was pretty lucky I got all cards with 45 energy. Oh my god, dude. That's pretty nice. Did you get anything though? You got Fire Nabara calling it. Laika. Laika is really just a counter pick. Didn't pick him too much. You really just want to slam him down when there's like no attack break, no stunners, and they don't have multi-hit. So it's kind of, there's a lot of requirements, you know, that need to be met before you pick Laika. But it's Vamp Nem. You want to focus on attack, defense, speed, crit damage. Obviously, you don't want HP. HP is a dead stat for the most part. And then artifacts, obviously crit damage artifacts with counterattack is okay. And then yeah, crit damage artifacts. Yeah, most of the time I picked them, it was just a force band, really. All cards with 27k energy. You lucky dog. Yeah, it didn't matter. It was still an F4. I know this event was so dumb. The actual event was the it was the runes you get, the grinds and enchants. That was the real event. All right, Aunu. Fatal Blade Fat. This is for cleavers that don't run like resets. And it's very important you have like attack bar when revived. And you have to be kind of careful when you pick it, because if there's like an attack bar booster, right, like a Bastet or something, you can't pick Aunu into that because you're only reviving plus 12 bar, right? And the rest of the team will have 30 bar up. So if I picked Aunu, usually you'd have to ban like the booster out. And you know, it felt like I didn't pick him that much this season. But yeah, just a fat fatal blade set. Damage dealt on dark. So I would pair this with Psamathe. You do like Psamathe Aunu into the maxi cleavers sometimes. If they didn't have like resets, could have been good. Or like, you know, Neff, Wunsa, Maxi, something like that. Okay, so we're Diana. Didn't really pick Diana that much, to be honest. I mean, you usually just picked it into like cleave, right? Like it cuts in. You can either transform and go for a kill, or you just put a shield up. Or if there's like a heavy water wind draft, like more, and then like wind and water stuff, you could pick Diana maybe, and they just probably wouldn't want to let it through. But yeah, she was Vio Will on HP, triple HP, I believe, since I have some pretty good triple crit rate stuff. Artifacts. You want to go additional damage by attack, and then like skill 2 crit damage, I guess, is fine. And then oh my god, I have these artifacts on Diana are so good, but I don't pick her very much, unfortunately. Yeah, that's Diana. I didn't really pick her a lot. Sonia. So we have a Swift Will Sonia. Initially, I built this to counter Tian Lang's, right? Because people would pick TL into Charlotte, right? So I wanted Sonia to be built to snipe out the TL, and then you have Charlotte Zerath still go. So she was on a crit damage is more HP, and then I put in the damage dealt on light here. And we have, yeah, just obviously skill 2 crit damage stuff, right? But Swift Will. But yeah, I didn't pick Sonia that often. And a lot of the time, even when I picked it into TLs, it just didn't work out. And there was one guy who ran a Sonia trap TL. I was like, okay. I don't want to pick this anymore. Yeah, it's Sonia. Bison. I'm not too much of a Bison enjoyer. I usually just, he was more of like a last pick counter into stuff like Firecast, Shizuka, Beelzebub, you know, stuff that doesn't want to get reset, basically. So yeah, he's on additionals, minus fire, max the Yak out. Kind of on the slower side, but yeah, well, not too bad. And they just make the SWC event re-app related. It would have been way better than a 4-star. I know, they should have. Maybe that's the next event. Right, we'll get a re-app event and then into a... My guess is the last event would be like the 100 or the 10-year anniversary scrolls. Maybe they'll just give us another like 200 or something. Right, because that's the best chance at getting an LD5. Moving on here. Mephisto. I do think I changed Mephisto a bit. I think I got like a better... Yeah, I got this juicer. Look at this one. I got this Will Rune like partway through the season. Max triple HP. 12 crit with innate AC. 4 speed though. But I mean, it's insane. The stats on that are insane. So I got that kind of early on in the season and I changed the build up. So it is Fatal Will with a good amount of HP, high attack, on the slower side, and then max crit. You typically just picked it into like Nana, Beelzebub, you know, as a really good counter pick into those bruiser teams. So I didn't need him to be super fast, especially since I was pairing it with like Draco. So I'd get the speed buff and the bar boost. Then artifacts, skill 2 crit damage focused, and then damage dealt on water and wind for Nana. Who did people pick? They usually picked like Nana and Abellio, stuff like that. Riley. What's the water one? The water totem is too sometimes. So yeah, this one's like okay. Attack effect is okay. Whoa, good Gildnir rune. Oh, this one. Does Gildnir need crit rate though? Moving on, we have a Lucian. Rage Will Lucian. I know, don't roast me for 90 crit rate, but yeah, we couldn't get 10 crit rate on this. Which is okay though, because I usually only picked it into water and wind. So at least I'd be capped out into the water units. But yeah, there are some games where I missed a crit into wind, and I think I actually lost. Like, I remember not critting a Sauger one time, and I just instantly got clapped because of that. So, it's not perfect, but yeah, still pretty good stats, I would say. And then the 2 quads. How do I keep getting quad rage runes? Like, it's unbelievable. This is a low quad. Sad, but I mean, it's not bad. Artifacts, skill 3 crit damage, additionals. These 2 lines are kind of useless. Unfortunately, I don't have anything better right now. And then this one's insane. Quad attack. with wind and water damage. So this one's like perfect. Fourth line's kind of like whatever though. So yeah, Lucian, I usually picked it into Abellio. It was either an Abellio counter, right? Because Abellios are usually lower HP, higher defense. So usually like one skill 3 from Lucian could clear an Abellio. Or if people messed up and they didn't pick like AoE strips and they were stacking wind water, you could just slam down. I call it a naked Lucian, where you're basically just slow cleaving them, which was always really funny. Yeah, you just pick Lucian with like no attack bar booster. You don't even have a Shizuka. You just slam down like 4 damage dealers. Anyway, Smicer. I did rune up Smicer on like one of my most efficient Vio sets, Vio Will. It was a bit faster before, but then I realized I needed to speed tune it to Juno. So before it was like plus 179, and which is like, that's too fast, right? So it slowed it down a bit, but like really good, really high defense, decent amount of attack, kind of like decent amount of HP. I feel like that's kind of low. Plus 26k, 62 act, pretty good as well. Vio Will, and then we were running skill 1 recovery, skill 2, skill 3 act, 1 additional line, and then I think I just picked this artifact because it's kind of cool. Minus 17 light, minus 17 dark, minus 9 wind. But this should probably be minus wind or fire. It depends. The artifact you put in, and this is like for any unit, should be dependent on how early you pick it. Right, so if you're someone who's drafting Smicer early, you should pick minus fire, right? Because people are going to, you know, try and stack element of advantage against you, right? So they're gonna pick like Masha or something. But if you're someone who's drafting it late, you could probably do something like this. And just, I mean, I picked Smicer into like Ragdolls a lot, like Vela Ragdoll, Yanhong. I think minus light was kind of useful there too. So yeah, anyways, that was Smicer. I thought it was pretty good overall. Yeah, Smicer's pretty busted. Tiana. Triple Nemesis. We'll look at the runes first. Triple Nemesis, high attack power, high crit damage, max res. This is for specifically Laura's. Right, so Laura skill 3s, you proc them. If they don't Vio proc into the skill 2, then you just get to cleanse everything, boost it up, take all their defense buffs off. And then Charlotte would go, and then Zerath would go and kill the team. So yeah, max res. Even if the Laura Vio procs, it's because it should be, what, like a 60%, right? 60% to stun. You still have a good shot at, like, still cleansing everything, so it was pretty good. And then you want to run, I think you run this much damage just in case. I think there are games where, like, I outsped people. Right, like Charlotte if you have Vanessa, Charlotte, Tiana, and you outspeed them, you armor break something, and then this should kill it. Right, like this much damage, and then obviously the speed scaling on the enemy would just absolutely annihilate something. So yeah, we focused on skill 2 crit damage artifacts. And this one's just like damage dealt on element with crit damage. So yeah, I picked Tiana a decent amount. Pretty much anytime I saw Laura, I picked it. So yeah, it was pretty good. I probably picked Tiana more than Chiwu this season. It's a fat Lucian regardless of the crit rate. You think so? Anyway, Xing. What can I say about Xing? Xing was fired many times over this season. There are too many games where I picked it into the robo comps, and this would just not proc. It was really annoying. It felt pretty bad. Even though it, like, in the draft it looks really strong, it just... Sometimes it would just sit there, or it would randomly get stunned, you know. And I remember there were games against Veronicas where they just skill 1 slow you, and you just like never move. So Xing, I didn't have him on this build for most of the season. He was on like Vio Will, or like Vio Revenge. He was going back and forth between those two, and then I just decided to give him like a leftover vamp set. Yeah, vamp, skill 1 Ak for the passive, crit damage, minus wind, minus dark. But Xing was kind of weird. I don't know how to feel about Xing. I felt like he let me down so much I just wouldn't even draft it, unless it's heavy water or something. But yeah, that's Xing right now. Ethna didn't use for most of the season. This is just a new build, not on Swift, it's Despair. So I just wanted more like turn 2 wind units that could armor break and, you know, be helpful. So it was like between her and Chung Pong, and I just feel like I had better runes for an Ethna, like this rune right here. Slot 4 crit rate, Despair stuff. So yeah, Despair Will, additionals. Yeah, additionals. And I think it was pretty good. I played her a couple matches, and I'm pretty sure she won me those games. Right, you're just constantly shattering and stunning everything, so it was pretty good. Wusa did not pick very much this season. I actually had him on like a triple Nemesis build, but then I never picked it because I took the Vio runes away. So he's just on leftover Vio Will right now. Yeah, skill 2 recovery, damage dealt on element for the skill 2. Yeah, could probably upgrade that a bit. Shiho, I think I usually pick Shiho with Shizuka, right? You have the invincibility combo. If they were stacking a bunch of fire units, like they picked Laika, Douglas, I could maybe slam the Shiho down. But yeah, it's kind of on a weird build too, since I don't really pick him that much, so I didn't give him a main set, like a Vio set, like you should do. It's just on Will, but these are good, pretty decent Will runes. You know, decently efficient. Besides, I mean, that one's kind of below legend, but yeah. We just go additional damage artifacts. And yeah, I just needed to move, I think, in front of like Smicer. But again, didn't pick him too much. Abellio didn't pick him too much either, just crit damage. Crit damage set. Skill 2 crit damage focused. And then minus dark plus dark. I think this is for like maxis. But I never really picked it into maxis anyway, so I don't know, maybe it should be changed. But just if I needed a like decent water bruiser, I could always pick Abellio. I hated playing against Abellio, but I myself did not pick Abellio that much. Minato. Minato, Vamp Endure. Max crit rate. Kind of on the slower side, but decent amount of HP, defense, attack. I liked picking it into any AoE unit that also, like, because of the threat state passive, right, where if he gets touched and you put up threat state, you could mess up like target what your opponent targets. So for example, if you're playing against like more Sauger, if more spins on you, you put threat state up, the Sauger has to either reset Minato or just pass the turn, right, and then just skill 1 him. And you could also do the same thing with like Vanessa AoE strips, you know, like maybe Vanessa Laura could mess him up. But most of the time it's like if they're stacking fire, you want to have a unit that if they let through, it might solo them, right? So yeah, Minato is pretty good. It just sucks though if he gets stunned, and then that's the one thing. If he gets stunned, it might be over for you, which did happen. Like a Despair More hits the stun on him on that first turn. It's just like you probably lose. And then we got Molong. Didn't really pick Molong that much. She's on Vamp Will, which is bad right now because of Gapsu. Gapsu will just get 30 bar every time he skill 1s or skill 2s, so that's really bad. You probably shouldn't run a Vamp Molong right now. Or just don't even pick it if you see a Gapsu. Yeah, we just went additionals, and then I think I tried to actually build it to kill Gapsus with damage dealt on Dark, but I don't know if that would work out. I think you could get close with something like this, but you still need another unit to do some damage. But yeah, this is kind of untested right now. I didn't pick Molong. I mean, that was the idea, was the one-shot Gapsu, but it's kind of hard to do that, I think, even with like a almost 20% damage dealt on Dark. But yeah, it's Molong. Alicia, I picked a bit this season, not too much, just if I needed like a water slow cleave unit, or if it was one of those Vanessa Adriana teams, right, where they're putting up speed buff, they have a Vanessa lead, and then that just makes the skill 2 hit really hard. I could pick it sometimes into those. Yeah, we got max crit rate, 206 crit damage, 1963 attack. She's on Energy Will Enhance, just because I have like some really nice enhance runes, and again that helps. Enhance is good for tanking hits, and then also increases Zerath damage by a bit. Artifacts, skill 2 crit damage focused, and then damage dealt on fire. But yeah, and you want to go max crit rate, at least in my opinion, because again you're picking it into Adriana, which keeps the speed buff on them, right? So if this skill only auto crits if they have no beneficial effects, that's why you go max crit rate. Eleanor, this isn't how she was most of the season. I was running oops, what happened here? She was on a like speed HP resistance build at like around plus 177 speed, but I wasn't really picking her that much, to be honest. But I think it's good to just have her ruined up. Could be a force band into like cleavers. I know from personal experience I don't want to see an Eleanor. It's just really annoying. But she had skill 2 recovery, artifacts, minus wind and dark for like Smicer, I guess Gianna and Seara would be okay. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4 defense, yep. But yeah, supposedly Eleanor has a really good win rate right now, but I felt like the times I picked her, she didn't do that great. I think that's just my draft. Like if I did Vanessa, Zerath, Charlotte, and then I was pivoting into, I don't know, Eleanor, Mayho, Wang, right? They would just ban out like Wang or Charlotte or something, and then because nothing else is built on Vio, if they get full control and you don't proc, you kind of just lose. Like you're hoping to God that you just proc one time, but sometimes you just don't get it, you know, so it's kind of just a luck sack. Rogue. Oh yeah, Rogue with 100% win rate this season, guys. He was Vio Will. We did get one bruiser player who stacked Tyrannus Nana into us, so here is the Rogue. Vio Will, crit rate build with co-op damage. I don't know. Co-op damage and then additional damage with own target, own turn, CD. Yeah, Rogue. Achroma. Let's see, I didn't really pick Achroma that much this season either. I'm still kind of testing it into the Robo Zabala teams right now. I know it's good into those, but sometimes he just takes too much damage and I don't know, you just die. I think she's good though, like especially on this build. These runes were on Meiho Wang, I think, for the most part. But yeah, I liked picking, like, you do Juno Achroma into the Robo teams, and I think she could be pretty good. But yeah, we go skill 2 Ac, which maybe this should be crit damage, I don't know. I kind of like landing the silence as consistently as possible, but I guess the Robo teams don't really run high-res units besides Oliver. So it depends on whether you think Oliver should be the focused or the Robo. I think the Robo should be, since you have Juno Achroma, so I should probably change this to crit damage. And then this artifact's pretty good, but I think I'll change this because minus fire doesn't make sense, like, at all. It should just be damage dealt on dark and wind, right? And then, or minus dark and wind damage. So that's Achroma. Still testing it. Shan was Swift Will. I think for most of the season he was actually unruined, but then we did rune him up so I could play like Vanessa, Draco, Shan into the bruiser players. And it was pretty good because we have this nice artifact here for sniping out Ragdolls and Gapsus. So yeah, Shan was fun. It's pretty good. Right, like if they open Gap Doll but they don't pick immunity, I think Shan could be pretty strong there. What's up, Jordan? Oh yeah, Achroma, Eleanor, Powder, Ragdoll, Nyx. My goodness, I know that'd be stupid. That'd be an interesting experiment, right? Just pick that all season, see how well you do. I assume not very good, but probably at lower ranks you'd probably just auto win. Okay, Light Robo, Swift Will, 250 speed, max crit, 210 crit damage. We got first attack crit damage, of course. Damage dealt on water. This is because I was picking it into Abelios a lot, Nanas, stuff like that, into like Ragdoll Abelio, for example. But Light Robo was good for it's an Abelio counter basically. It's an Abelio and a Ragdoll counter, as long as you can strip, right? So if you're running Gemini Robo, if you strip the Abelio, the pushback from this actually counters the Abelio proc, so it makes it so he doesn't cut in and heal. And then of course we get a 50 bar up, so 50 bar up, you crit 4 times, Ragdoll boosts 40 bar. So your last unit should still move. So that's what I use Light Robo for. Overall fun unit. Hold on. Next up, we got Deva. Deva was really fun to play this season, especially when I built him like this. Probably one of my more favorite units to pick. I'm gonna try and pick this more next season, since we're probably opening Zerath's Shizuka more, which will bait Juno's out, and you can pick this. Right, so we did a Rage Will build with slot 2 HP, slot 6 attack, and you do this because the skill 2 is actually attack scaling. But then when you go into Thunder state, you get the HP scaling. So I figure, you know, somewhere in between, like split the stats, should be more damage, right? But Rage Will, man, too bad this was not skill 3 crit damage. If this was skill 3 crit damage, it's like a perfect Zerath rune. But that's okay, it's a perfect Deva rune. Absolutely nutty. And of course we have our quad damage dealt on fire, so I could just smash Junos in. So yeah, Devo was really fun. Loved the games where I got to pick him. What do you select for the SWC scroll? We can go over that in a bit. Yeah, I'll show you guys my choices after we finish here. Moving on, we have Jara. Jara is Fatal Will with pretty loaded stats in my opinion. It's on the slower side, but we're pretty tanky for having this much damage, which is, I think, caught a lot of people by surprise. Yeah, plus 2600 attack. You don't need to worry about crit rate, obviously, because you auto crit rate if you have enough attack power. Again, on the slower side, but just needs to move in front of Zerath, so you could maybe armor break something sometimes. Fatal Will, and then we do skill 2 crit damage focused artifacts. With damage dealt on dark, right? Because I'm picking it into Gapdoll most likely. Gapdoll, Alexandra, Lydia, that kind of stuff. Just one-shot them. So yeah, Jara was really fun. Alex. Alex is Vamp Will. With you know, 8, you want to just get as much HP as you can with crit damage subs. You go Vamp because you're just picking this into like the Talisman Cleavers or the Leo Lucifer guys. And then you run like minus light for that stuff, right? Zerath as well, you could pick it into that. But the idea being that she survives, you reflect a bunch of damage back to them, and you transform skill to them, and you heal the full. Presumably you kill some stuff, and then you can just, you know, they just kill themselves on the reflect damage, right? So yeah, Alex was really good. I'm sure she had a pretty high win rate for me. But there were a few people who actually were able to kill it. I do remember a few games where like some people actually have the damage to kill it, which is pretty impressive. So, but yeah, for artifacts, life drain, first attack crit damage, additional damage by attack. Just like Diana, you want additional damage by attack, not HP, because when you transform, all your HP gets converted to attack, right? And again, just minus light. This could probably be minus dark here, or wind for Lucian. Ragdoll actually did change partway through the season. I basically dropped his attack for more HP. And yeah, we lost damage, but we got more HP defense. Vile Will. Crit damage artifacts, of course, and then just minus every element. Minus wind. I mean, I don't know if this should survive. Maybe it survives the Sonia hit, I don't know. With the reflect damage plus the minus wind, maybe it does, I don't know. Yeah, but minus fire, water, dark. Oh, it's a meta expert. New meta, Nyxrag, Gapsulia over. Oh god. Yeah, we might be in for a brutal season, guys. With Nyx Ragdoll stuff. But we'll see what happens. Maybe it might still be trash, to be honest, because Nyx is just, it's all RNG, you know? So he still might be trash. We'll see, though. Veramos is really good into the meta right now because of like Sauger Chandra. Cleansing the slows and provokes is pretty good. Unless you get stunned. If you get stunned and then the slows land, you're in trouble. But also good into like Nephthys, Sekhmet, you know, some of the debuff comps. The Tomo comps usually didn't like Veramos. But yeah, just Vio Will. Nemesis, you can either go Nemesis to have better odds against snipers. Like there's some teams who, like Nephthys for example, they skill 2 armor break you, and they have like a Han or a Julian that will try and snipe the Veramos out. So you can do Nemesis and then run like one of those elements minus one of those elements. So yeah, there's some games against Meow Meow who was doing this. I remember I picked Veramos. I think it was like a minus dark Veramos, but he sniped it out with Julian. I re-runed to minus light, got him again, and then we won because he did the same thing. He was probably like, what? But yeah, anyways, minus light for Julian's right now. Skill 3 recovery and then skill 2 ac. So yeah, Veros, pretty good free to play counter pick right now. And I guess you could still pick it into Gianna's, but it's like bit iffy. And then Patter. Alright, what happened in the chat here? He procs 10 attack bar when his passive resets. You guys are talking about Nyx. When his passive resists a debuff. So technically, if you resist a debuff through its own resistance, then it won't count, right? Oh, yeah, I think you're right. It has to be his passive. Yeah. So yeah, it might not be that strong. Right, like is getting attack bar... I think it depends. I think if you're a full bruiser player, it's going to be good for you. I think if you're someone who's like pivoting into Nyx, it probably won't be that great. I could see myself running a like into the robo teams. You know how I do Chandra, Zerath, and then we pick like Juno, Cookie, I don't know, Lucia. I think Nyx could be good into that pivot with where you get three counter picks. But yeah, we'll see. Yeah, let's move on to Patter. I think Patter honestly had one of my highest win rates according to one of the data tracking websites. I think it was like SW Arena. They said I had like a 68% win rate with Patter or something. On Shield Will, this is specifically to counter the Robo Zabala teams, right? So you build it on double shield, just to add that extra layer of RNG to the strip chance. You go minus dark so they don't strip your shield off. They have to, I mean, they don't break the shield with damage. They have to strip it. Right, so if they get kind of like average RNG, they miss the first hit. Second hit strips the shield, third hit strips the will, then you boost up, and you just put immunity back up, and you kind of just win the game. So yeah, Powder was really good into those. But he's Shield Will, Skill 3 ac with crit damage, minus dark, minus light. Minus light is also for Veronica, because shield sets work into her pretty well as well. Right, because she only strips one beneficial effect, right? So it's if you have a shield set, it's 50-50 if they get the immunity or the shield. So that was Patter. Now let's see, did I ruin anything else? I think Nana, we had a few games just to spare Will. Additionals, yeah, I'll just quickly go over some of the other ones. More is being tested out right now. I might rune up like more Omduat as another counter pick, but yeah, more is probably my fastest is spare set right now, just spare blade with skill 2 act and additionals. Josephine was actually okay this season, especially with all the Giannas running around. She was Vio Will, pretty good stats overall. Low act though, but kind of made up for that in the artifacts. Minus Winda, Tanka, Seara Bomb. Bastet, Swift Will on attack. Picked it a few times into bruisers if I wanted attack buff. With additionals. Oops. Beth is being tested right now. This is another like water, like slow cleave unit. Also counters Juno a bit. Arties decrease bomb damage? Yeah, they should. Yes. So yeah, Beth is Beth is being tested out right now. I kind of like her though, especially since she has an HP lead. Chow, I did pick Chow quite a bit. I thought it was okay. Yeah, we're running a Vio Nem, really damaged focused. It's on the slower side because of that. But Vio Nem, again, more crit damage artifacts. Nice quad here. So this Chow hit pretty hard, but it's on the slower side. Tetra, we can gloss over Tetra. I did have Tetra ruined up on Swift for a bit this season, because it's like the only counter pick into Zimas. So if you think about Tetra moving in front of Charlotte, it cleanses the silence, and then you're good to go. But it never really came up. I had her ruined up for so long, and then there was never a game where I needed to use her, so I just de-ruined her. Arties decrease bomb. I'm pretty sure they do, yeah. It should. It's just, I mean, it's elemental damage still. Julie, I picked her a few times, I think. Just on a, yeah, moves in front of Zerath on a damage set. Not quite max crit rate, but it's alright. Skill 3 crit damage, additionals. Susana, we already went over Rogue. Alice, I did have ruined up on. We were playing with it a bit early, but yeah, Swift Will, kind of high res, so they have a hard time armor breaking you or stripping the defense buff. Then we go defense up effect. Defensive effect. But yeah, I mean, it's fun to use her, but I don't think she was that good. But yeah, sometimes you could just last pick it and people wouldn't want to deal with it. Lucia, we did pick this a decent amount into the yeah, like maxi Oliver stuff. So I built her Vio Revenge, max res. Decently fast, skill 1 recovery, minus dark and wind, and fire. This is a good artifact. I think it has no yeah, I'm like 99% positive bomb damage is affected by minus elemental damage. I'm sure. Pretty sure. Because I don't know why they would do that, first of all. Claire. Okay, Claire is just on a fat rage set. I use this with Yanhong. You just boost it up and then snipe something out. Damage dealt on fire. John Vio Will. Cap the Ack out. You go bomb damage, of course. I picked this into Wedgeats a lot, where they didn't have like immunity or an AoE strip, right? Because John's like the only slow cleaver that ignores anti-crit and defense both, so definitely had to keep him ruined up. for those kind of teams. To Seara, I just ruined up randomly towards the end of the season. Double Revenge Will. High HP, decent amount of attack. Kind of low on defense. And then, yeah, a bit of crit right here. And some AC. Go high on the skill. High skill 3 AC, I think, is the way to go. And then damage dealt on Dark Light Wind, I think, is fine. Didn't pick him that much, to be honest, so. But I just felt like keeping him ruined up was a good idea. Just as like maybe a force ban. Vela didn't pick that much, but it was ruined if I felt like I needed it. Max res, kind of on the slower side, but with a bit of crit rate. Skill 2 crit damage, skill 2 AC was good. Minus fire for like Daphnis or Firecast, I guess. But yeah, again, didn't really pick it that much. Rika, really solid last pick. I specifically wanted it to be used against like Hans, some of the dark snipe teams because of this artifacts, so she could just tank hits. But yeah, she's max res, decent amount of AC. Good defense and HP, kind of lower on the HP, I would say, but that's because I went, you know, I mean, you gotta cap your resistance out somewhere. So, and then we did skill 3 AC with additional damage. So yeah, that's Rika. Always keep a Rika ruined up, and we're planning on ruining up Zerath maybe later. Firecast, double Nem Will. Didn't really pick it that much. I felt like the games I did pick it, I was just like barely not killing stuff because people were running minus fire a lot. So I think I should rebuild this to Rage instead of the Nemesis, because then I'll actually get kills with it. But yeah, this is what it was for most of the season. Skill 2 crit damage focused, and then damage dealt on fire. Bike, I did have Bike ruined up, but I think the runes just kind of, you know, go from unit to unit as I try stuff out. But I did have him ruined up for a bit. Madara, thanks for the follow. Khaki, didn't really pick him that much. Maybe like a few games into like a Miho. But just Fatal Will, high attack power, decent amount of defense. The additionals. Alright, why did I go damage dealt on light? I think there's a reason for this. I can't remember though. Antares, Despair Will, 0 speed build, just all stats. High crit damage. Yeah, additional damage, attack of effect. Okay, I have a quad attack up effect here. I don't know how good that is. Yeah, it's kind of weird. I don't know. Again, didn't really pick Antares that often this season. And if I did, I am sure I was disappointed. Clara, not really ruined. Wind Hacker, we're going to try this guy out again when the patch drops. But I did try him out earlier in the season on a Leo build. For the, you know, those Leo Ragdoll Viva Shell players that like to snipe stuff out. I thought it could be good into there, just to, right, they wouldn't want to hit him, and then you could turn around and then like maybe cleave the team with 2 units. But yeah, it didn't really, I didn't think the damage was that great, but we'll try him out again. Angela, I picked a bit, but yeah, just kind of a leftover Vio Will set, max res, skill 2 recovery, minus wind. Like the Ragdoll Angela teams could be pretty strong, but I didn't pick her too much. Yo, we don't need to talk about that. Don't need to talk about that. Feng Yan, didn't really play him, but he's just ruined up. Yeah, I didn't play her. Triana on a anti-Sonia build, really high defense, because I think I wanted to try and make one that would be anti-Sonia with attack buff. but that is untested, so maybe next season we'll see. But yeah, I put like flat defense enchants on here. Yeah, should try and squeeze out as much defense as possible. Tyrannus OP buff, yeah, we're gonna be we will rune up the Tyrannus again. Yeah, he should be pretty good, I think. Well, we'll see. This is my trap Lucian for again the Leo Viva Ragdoll teams. Right, you run attack bar when revived, so you pick like Vanessa Lucian. If they snipe out your Lucian, it will revive with attack buff and move in front. It will just get a turn. So I had a few games this season with him. It's always really fun to bring this out, pull it off. Psamathe didn't pick him too much, but he was Swift Blade. If I needed like a last pick speed lead, yeah, just additional damage, max crit, high attack. Isis is fired, so but she was on Vio Will, like a 260 Vio set, but Isis is fired. We don't need to talk about her. Kinky, of course, I pull a Kinky after it gets nerfed. How does this always happen? But yeah, I did give Kinky a nice Vamp energy set on max resistance. Really decent amount of HP. I mean, all these runes are very efficient. Yeah, like these are really good runes, I would say. Maybe not this one. This one needs work. But just stats, and then really good artifacts, I would say. They're okay, I guess, but yeah. Kinky, it's fun to play with him, but he wasn't very good, unfortunately. Magnum, Rage Will, didn't really pick it, but it was there in case I fought like a classic Japanese cleaver, and it was probably just a force ban. And then that was it, I think. Mirene, we had a few fun games with her, but she was like Swift Will around plus 190. But yeah, I think that's it, guys. Whew, that took a long time. I feel like you have so many things ruined up, man. Crazy. All right. So yeah, that's my all of my season 30 runes and artifacts builds.